Hello and welcome to another update video about SUI. Let's talk about the short-term bullish and short-term bearish scenarios for SUI. SUI is at a key inflection point, and why is that? Because the price has fulfilled the micro count we talked about, a possible 5-wave move down in wave C here in the white count. That decline started on Monday the 14th. And it's now a 5-wave move down, which suggests that at least a temporary bounce should be on the horizon, which, however, hasn't started yet quite clearly. Okay, so I'm still tracking here the white wave count, and the key support for this one is at $1.84, and we are maxing out that support area at the moment down to $1.84. We haven't broken the level yet, and actually we are still hovering slightly above it. But ideally in the white wave count, which allows for one more high, then another higher low, and another higher high, possibly. Yeah. Ideally, in this scenario, the price shouldn't break below $1.84. But if you know my channel, if you know Elliott wave, if you know these structures, then you know that support for B waves is typically weak. So a support area for a B wave is typically not an invalidation point, because B waves can even overshoot to the downside, very importantly. But they shouldn't normally break below the beginning here, in this case, of the third wave. Okay, so the B wave should ideally not break below 174. So for now, I'm just watching if there is a reaction. Ideally, there is going to be one, yeah. But please note that at the time of recording, there is absolutely no confirmation that a local low has been established. But in the short-term bullish count, we would like to see the bulls turn up before the price breaks and sustains below $1.84. And then the price should be sent higher. Now, in the yellow count, and this is where the short-term bearish scenario comes into play, we see this here as an A wave down in yellow of a larger degree wave 4 correction with support around the $1.33 mark. And because, you know, the decline is somewhat technically complete, at least it looks like that, we could say that at least a B wave bounce is due from here, which would unfold as an ABC structure. So that means if the next rally is corrective, it is likely going to be the yellow B wave, which could then send the price down in wave C in 5 waves. Which means I'm watching for a bounce either way from this region. It hasn't started yet, so I cannot confirm it yet, but it is something maybe if you're trading this on the smaller time frame, maybe pay attention to it. Maybe focus on it a little bit, yeah? Because this is now from where a bounce could start, but it hasn't started yet. Now, if it's a B wave, typically these can overshoot, you know, it's just a wide variety of possible movements. But bear in mind, there is going to be some structural resistance here in this region. I'm gonna highlight that in maybe even in yellow. Yeah, let's put that on in yellow. That's going to be structural resistance around the $2.17 mark. And we can also add Fibonacci resistance. Yeah? And I'm going to just measure it from the top. And I will shrink down the support area because we don't need the entire support area. Otherwise, it will be difficult to read. Don't need the upper sections, right? But important is now that we then watch for resistance, Fibonacci resistance, in the area between $2.05 and $2.25. Yeah, B waves can easily overshoot, but still, this is going to be standard resistance. Actually, I'm going to take out the 38.2 Fib level. It's normally not so relevant. Yeah, and then the yellow B wave should unfold as an ABC structure itself. So, in summary, I'm just watching here now for a reaction that could at least represent a B wave. If the structure is impulsive, it could rather be the C wave up and should take us above 225. But if the structure remains corrective, it could just be a B wave, and I will let you know along the way which one it more likely is, you know, depending on the structure that shows. That's the update about SUI. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.